Have you ever felt too small, too broken, or too unqualified for what God is asking you to do? Maybe you've looked at your own life, at your own weaknesses, and thought, surely He has someone better in mind than me. But you are not alone in that feeling, and hear this clearly today: you are not disqualified. We tell ourselves the lie that God only uses the strong, the confident, the ready, the ones who already have it together. We picture Him searching for someone polished, someone impressive, someone with no visible cracks. But that has never been true. Not once in the entire Bible, from beginning to end. Today, we're looking at a man who felt exactly like you might feel right now. Overlooked, unqualified, and quietly afraid of what was being asked of him. His name was Gideon, and his story still speaks directly into ordinary, uncertain lives today, maybe even into yours. He was hiding. He was afraid, living under the constant weight of an enemy he had no power to defeat. He did not see himself as anyone God could possibly use for something great. If anything, he saw himself as the last person qualified. But God saw something in Gideon that Gideon could not see in himself. A courage buried so deep, even Gideon didn't know it was there, waiting to be called out. Israel was suffering under years of relentless oppression. Their crops stolen year after year by raiding armies that came like locusts across the land. Their families living in constant fear of the next attack, never knowing when it would come. Gideon was found threshing wheat inside a stone winepress, hiding from the enemy's eyes just to keep his family fed for one more uncertain week. He was not preparing for battle, not training, not planning any kind of rescue. He was simply surviving, one hidden and exhausting day at a time, doing whatever it took to make it through. And then, in the middle of that quiet, ordinary fear, something extraordinary happened. The Bible tells us in Judges chapter 6, verse 12, "And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, and said unto him, The Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor." Gideon looked around, confused, certain those words could not possibly be meant for him. Not for a man hiding in a winepress, afraid of his own shadow. Here is the first truth we need to hold on to today, and it's one worth writing down somewhere you'll see it again. God calls people who feel completely incapable, not people who already feel ready, polished, or prepared for what's ahead. Gideon didn't hide his doubt or pretend to feel braver than he was. He brought it straight to God, answering honestly in Judges chapter 6, verse 15. "O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." God did not argue with Gideon's weakness, and He did not try to talk him out of how small and unqualified he felt. He simply said, "I will be with you," and for Gideon, that turned out to be enough. God was not waiting for Gideon to feel strong enough, confident enough, or prepared enough before He acted. He was already calling him, exactly as he was, fears and all. Maybe you've been waiting to feel ready before you take the step God has already, clearly, placed in front of you. Moses stuttered and begged God more than once to send someone else instead of him, convinced he simply wasn't the man for the job. David was the youngest son, dismissed and overlooked by his own father when it mattered most, not even called in from the fields at first. None of them felt qualified either. And God used every single one of them anyway, in ways they never expected. The world tells you to prove yourself first, to earn your place, and then maybe you'll finally be chosen. God works the exact opposite way. He calls you first in your weakness, and the strength always comes after. Maybe tonight you feel exactly like Gideon did, hidden away, unnoticed, certain deep down that you're simply the wrong person for what's ahead of you. Your weakness was never the disqualifying factor God was looking at when He decided to call you by name. What disqualifies no one is honestly admitting, I don't feel ready for this. God already knew that the moment He called you, and He called you anyway. He is not looking for your confidence, your resume, or your impressive credentials. He is looking for your willingness, however small and shaky it feels right now. Gideon still needed proof before he could fully believe any of this was real, and God, in His endless patience, was about to give him exactly that, without a single word of frustration. Gideon asked for a sign, something tangible he could actually see and touch with his own hands. Let me put a wool fleece on the threshing floor tonight, he said, and let it prove what I cannot yet believe. If the dew is only on the fleece, he said, and the ground all around it stays completely dry, then I will know for certain you will use me. The next morning, the fleece was soaked through, wrung out into a full bowl of water, while the ground all around it remained completely, impossibly dry. But Gideon was still afraid, still unsure of what he had just seen, so he asked God again, this time for the very same sign in reverse. Let the fleece stay dry this time, he asked, and let the ground all around it be wet with dew instead, just to be sure. God did not grow impatient with the second request, and He did not accuse Gideon of having too little faith. He simply granted it exactly as Gideon asked, patiently, once again. Doubt was never the disqualifying factor either. Not for Gideon back then, and not for you sitting here today. It's all right to bring your uncertainty honestly to God, even more than once, and simply ask Him to meet you right there in the middle of it. With his confidence slowly, quietly growing, Gideon gathered an army to finally face the enemy that had terrorized his people for years. 32,000 men answered the call to fight. Here is the second truth we need to hold on to. The strength was never going to come from Gideon himself, and it was never going to come from his army either. God narrowed the numbers Himself, deliberately, and told Gideon in Judges chapter 7 verse 2, "The people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, Mine own hand hath saved me." 22,000 men were sent home first, leaving Gideon with only a fraction of the army he had originally gathered. 10,000 remained standing with him. God narrowed the number again and again, this time all the way down to just 300 men. 300 ordinary men, standing against an enemy army the Bible describes as being too numerous to even count, like sand on the seashore. God was deliberately removing everything Gideon might have leaned on for his own confidence, so that no one could ever mistake where the coming victory truly came from. Sometimes God removes our resources, not to punish us or leave us empty-handed, but simply to make His hand in our lives completely unmistakable. That night, the 300 men silently surrounded the enemy camp, carrying nothing in their hands but trumpets, torches, and empty clay jars. On Gideon's signal, they broke the jars all at once, raised the torches high into the night sky, and blew the trumpets loudly from every direction. And the entire enemy army woke in the darkness, believing they were surrounded by a force far greater than 300 men, and fled in total confusion and panic. No sword was ever needed from Gideon's 300 men that night. The battle was already won before it had even truly begun. Here is the third truth we need to carry with us long after this video ends. Your past hesitation does not cancel your future calling. Even after the victory, standing in the aftermath of it all, Gideon built an altar and named it, "The Lord is Peace," as if some part of him still needed that reminder even then. God never waited for Gideon to become completely fearless before choosing to use him for something great, and He is not waiting for that from you either. He worked through Gideon while the fear was still very much there, uninvited but present, refusing to leave quietly. The doubt you feel today, right now, does not disqualify the calling God already placed on your life long before this moment. You don't need to wait until you feel brave, or ready, or fully healed to take the very next step in front of you. Courage was never the absence of fear in the first place, no matter how it looks from the outside. It's simply obedience in spite of that fear. Whatever God has called you to do, whatever door He's placed in front of you, He is not waiting for a stronger, more confident version of you to finally begin. So ask yourself honestly, right here, right now, what has God been calling you toward that you've been quietly avoiding simply because you don't feel ready? Don't wait for the full picture before you move forward. Pick one small, specific action you can take before today ends, no matter how small it feels. Send that message you've been avoiding for weeks, the one that keeps sitting unopened in your drafts. Write down the dream you buried under years of fear and disappointment, even if it feels foolish to say out loud. Walk through the door, even if your hands are still shaking as you do it, even if no one else understands why it matters to you. Whatever it is, do it today, and bring it honestly to God exactly as it is, unfinished, uncertain, imperfect, and still afraid. Lord, I bring you the parts of me that feel unqualified, unprepared, and deeply unsure of what comes next in my life. Remind me, Lord, that you have never called the ready, and you have never needed the strong or the impressive. You call the willing, and you equip them fully along the way, step by step, exactly when they need it. Give me courage for today's step, even while the fear is still sitting right here with me, refusing to fully leave. I am not disqualified by my weakness, my doubt, or my fear. I am chosen in spite of all of it, and fully equipped because of you alone. Lord, go before me today, the way you went before Gideon so long ago, in a winepress in the dark, in the middle of ordinary fear that felt impossible to shake. In Jesus' name, amen.